Welcome to AnyWord ICT Academy. I'm going to show you how to design a simple business flyer. To get started, I used an A5 canvas, and this is a Photoshop software. So I'm going to kick off by selecting my tool options and selecting the ellipse tool. I'm going to draw a circle. I'll hold shift to draw a perfect circle. I'll release my mouse and see how it looks like. I'll change this to normal circle. I'll reduce my stroke to 0 and I'll change this to normal color. I want to change this green to orange color, so I will select the foreground color and drag it to this point. I guess this is okay. Backspace to change it to this color. I have this guy here, so I can pull it to this point and hold shift to reduce the size. I'll press OK. So now that it's here, let me increase it a bit. Next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this shape by pressing Ctrl J, and I have the copy here. I'll now go to my selection tool, then I'll rasterize this shape, and I'll select polygonal lasso tool. So I'll click here and I'll click here, and close this up. Then I'll delete this part and I'll remove. I want to change this color to another color. I want to change this half circle to another color. So to do that, I will hold Ctrl and click on this layer to highlight it. Then I will hold Ctrl and press backspace. Then I will deactivate. I will take this guy to this point. Then I'll drag him below the former ellipse shape. I'll bring it out a bit like this. Okay, guess that's perfect. Next I'm going to do is to go back to my shape, and select rectangle tool. Then I'll make a rectangle here. Then I'll shift this to this point to create a curve. I'll unlink it and shift this guy a bit and shift here a bit. So I've gotten what I needed. So I'll click here and extend this guy a bit. I guess this is okay. So I'll change the color of this to blue. Okay, now I will select this guy and I'll go and get a picture. Let's say display this picture. So I'll drag her to this point and reduce the size. So I'll do a clipping mask to insert it into the yellow ellipse circle. Create clipping mask. Is now inside. Next thing I'm going to do is to write the name of the business. I'll click here and I'll come here and write something. Let me reduce the size of the font. I'll write any consults. You can write anything in your own. Let me reduce the size once more to this point. So I'm going to use black at this particular point to change the color to black. Guess that's okay. Next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this guy here by pressing Ctrl J. Then I'll change the color to orange. Then I'll bring this guy down a bit to this point. Then I'll use my direction key button to bring it out once more. Then I'll drag it below this particular circle by dragging it below there so that you can go below that point. Let's zoom in to see how it looks like. Okay, perfect. Next thing I'm going to do is to write the main basics of the flyer. So I'm going to make another text here. Then I'll increase the size to, let's say, 30 or 24. Then I'll write our business plan. Then I'm going to make another text here by dragging this to this point. Make sure it's aligned. You can see the pink line is aligned. Then I'll stop there and I'll reduce the size to, let's say, 14 or 12. It's okay. Let's go with this. Then I'm going to reduce this a bit. Okay, this is just a sample. Next thing I'm going to do is to come to this point and also make another text. We can duplicate this guy here by holding the Alt key and shifting it away from that point. So we have double text now. Then I can come here and click on my shapes and select the line tool. I can make a line here. I'll hold shift to maintain a straight line. Then I will remove this and change it to color. I will use the same orange color. I'll reduce the size to nothing. Then the fill, I will select orange too. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, it's too faint, so I'm going to increase the width by coming here and I'll make the width to be bigger. Let's say 10px. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, that's perfect. Then I'll come here, I'll select the rectangle tool once more. Then I'll make a shape like this. Then I'll come here and I will click on my rectangular tool once more. I will make a shape like this. I think that's good. So we've gotten the template that we needed. I also come here and select my rectangular tool once more. I'll make a small rectangle here. This time around I'm going to use blue color, since we are maintaining two colors here. So we have this now, and next thing I'm going to do is to make a little text once more. So I'll come here and I'll make a text. Then the downside is where we're going to make our social media icons. So I'll head over to my social media, my pictures. I will look for icons. I'll look for Facebook. I'll get this guy here and drag him into our Photoshop. Now if you look closely, you will notice the colors are not rhyming, so I'll rasterize the logo. I'll come and select my magic wand tool, and I'll click here and press Ctrl backspace to change it to darker blue so that it can rhyme with our flyer. I'll reduce this to very little size, and that's good. I'll zoom in by pressing Ctrl plus on your keyboard. I'll zoom in more. Then I can bring this guy here and I'll write something like this. Reduce the size to 10 or 8. Then I can start typing, let's say, Ernie World. That could be the name of our page. And I've gotten this. Next thing I'm going to do is to also get the other icons. Let's say the WhatsApp icon. I'll drag this into our Photoshop. I'll press Ctrl 0 to zoom out, and I'll rasterize this icon, and I'll delete the white section. I'll also click here to change the green to blue. Ctrl backspace and Ctrl backspace. So we have this guy now. I'm going to also reduce the size to be very small. Let me zoom in. I'll bring him to this point and I'll reduce the size more. I will check out the pink line and see whether it aligns. Once it aligns with the F logo, that's the Facebook logo, that's okay. Now I don't like this font for this section, so I'll highlight and change it to another font. Let's say we choose this one. I think that's okay. Then I can duplicate this by clicking here and holding my Alt key. I'll duplicate it and bring it to this point and make sure that in the same line, you can see the 3 dots. So I'll hold Shift to maintain that line and I'll bring it to this point. Then I'll click here and click in between and type the phone number. Let's something like this. I'll go back to the Facebook icon and I'll bring it down more. So I'll go back to my icons and I'll get let's say this one. I'll drag this guy, or I'll use Instagram. Then I'll zoom out by pressing Ctrl 0. Then I'll reduce this to a size that is okay. Then I'll rasterize this and go back to my magic wand tool, and I will change it as usual to blue color. So I'll bring this guy down to this point, and if you notice, the other icons has white, so I'm going to add white a bit to this. I will select this guy and I will change my color to white. Yes, that's okay. So I'll reduce the size more to this point. I'll zoom in. So I'll make sure they align together with the other icons. Okay, I got this here, so I will shift it a bit to this point. Then I will come back to this point, and as usual, I hold my Alt key and duplicate this and bring it to this point. Once you see the three lines they've aligned, you release your mouse, and I'm going to shift this guy to be at this point. Then for the WhatsApp icon and the phone number, no, not this, this one, you can hold shift and shift it to get to this point so that they can be balanced. Then I'll select my icon, the phone number. I will change it to this. So now that we have gotten this, I will now zoom out to see how our flyer looks like. So this is a perfect example of how to design a simple business flyer that you can make use of. So you can subscribe to this channel for more updates, as we'll be doing different flyers in the future.